Hi, I'm Soph. I started as an apprentice in 2017, and then I've just kind of been around ever since. And I love the animals. I love like the vegetables and the flowers. I love the community. Um, Recently, I joined the board of the farm, so that's been really cool. It was the summer before I was an apprentice, and I was a working farmer. Um, And I remember I was super, super shy and super quiet because I was like 12. And like Casey was so sweet. Like he'd always ask so many questions. And now I know like that's his work and talk thing. Like he always draws everyone out and comes up with like these crazy topics of conversation. Um, and so I remember like being like, oh my gosh, this guy's awesome. And I remember loving the pigs, especially because they're so cute, and the goats because they're ridiculous. I love everything about the farm. I will say I love the animals. I love the sheep. I love the babies. I love the way that the sugar sack smells when it's maple season and it's like sugar everywhere in the air. Like you inhale it and it's like I have a sweet tooth, so I'm no one should be surprised. I love the smell. Um, and I also love the community and how kind everyone is. Well, the biggest physical difference is, of course, the barn. We had the old barn, and I remember there used to like we always used to push hay down from like the top level, but we have like the little railings now, which is probably smart for like safety purposes, but like yeah. Um, and we also have the new like flower workshop. It's not in the basement. It used to be in the basement. Um, yeah, and like the farmhouse. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
And like I feel like Casey's done a really good job kind of guiding the farm into like a new era where we can really like kind of come into the vision that we had for the farm. Like I remember it used to be very like, oh my gosh, like once we saw these beautiful like side of the road like fallen branches, and it was the middle of winter and they had these little red berries, and we picked them off the side of the road and made wreaths out of them, and like you know, but now like we grow everything, it's all like super professional, like we're a real farm. And of course I love all the fun times that we have so much. I also miss that too, but you know it is very different. We've also had like a lot of changes in people, but of course not Casey. We still have Casey. um, and we have new farm dogs and new animals. We get lots of new animals. I'm trying to think what else. We're just constantly developing and changing and making projects happen, and yep. Sometimes I tell people I'm so grateful I came here, and they should make it like a thing in school that you come here instead. I really think that you learn like a lot of life lessons. Like you learn like how to work with a community, how to be like fully present with people, how to be like a learner, how to be a teacher, how to be like kind of how to draw people out of their shells and kind of make this community. And I think that's really important to learn that young rather than later in life, like when you get a job or something, because things are so different with kids now, like social media and technology, that like, you know, but being on your phone isn't a replacement for like in person present, like your hands are on the plants, community. Um, so I really love that about the farm, and I think that's something that's always going to be a huge part of the farm. Um, and I also learned lots of like life skills. Like now I have learned how to like fix things. I can do like home projects that the rest of my family can't, which is a little concerning. um, yeah, everyone should really know that. Some important skills there. I've learned a lot about decomposition. There were some sheep-related experiments in there. And I learned, oh, one really important but maybe not super common skill is like because we're a farm and because things are just kind of all over the place. Like we have like a little junkyard area back there filled with like lots of useful materials. So when we fix things, sometimes we work out of just like random stuff that you have around. And that is such a useful skill. Like you've got to be able to be resilient, like and use what you have and like come up with creative solutions. And that has helped me like so much to change the way I think, even in like ways you wouldn't realize and anticipates, like even like people problem solving or like problem solving on an assignment. Like I'm really good at like just improvising and working with what I have, but that's not something you learn other places. I think that the farm makes like a huge part of who I am, so therefore it also makes a huge like part of what I do. Currently, I'm an environmental studies major at Wellesley, which was in part inspired by like, I love the farm and like my love for the environment came from the farm and like hearing about like all the sustainability and like the things that we take into account. Um, and then the other thing is like Wellesley's so close and like there's such a community here. I was not about to leave that behind for college. Um, and like there's so many other things like I feel like I've been more able to like if I want something and if something's important to me, I go out and get it because like before the farm I didn't realize I could be like I love the farm, I want to be a farmer, I want to be here all the time and have someone say yes. But now I know that if like I know that I want it like in my heart and I work at it, I'll get there. So that's like really helped me with like academics, with internships, with the things that I want to do in my future and like it's just really like cool to be able to have that experience so young and then kind of see where it takes you. Of course, I always come back home. Well, I'll do one that was like really funny, and then one that like scared me a little bit, but like is the most memorable thing. So the first one is that Casey is so imaginative. Like I mentioned that he comes up with all of these crazy topics to like get people out of their shells. That's like our work and talk thing. But he comes up with these ridiculous stories. Like one time he had this like old box and like anything weird that like we'd find in the field while like weeding or like growing or harvesting or whatever, he'd just put it in there. And then like eventually he like had this box full of like random articles of whatever and he'd give it to us and each person would get to pick something and it like said something about them like it was your omen and it would like tell your future and it was so cool. We called it the box of dreams. And if anyone ever found something like super cool, I mean, like if it was like super super cool, we'd like talk to the office and it would go to like the Natick Historical Society. But like other stuff, like it'd be just so funny to kind of see everyone's reaction and see like the stories they'd have or be like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of something else. Um, so that's one story. Oh, and another creative Casey thing, he comes up with so much farm lore. Like there's a ghost that lives in here somewhere. There's a backstory. I think his name is Eugene, and there's like
In the soda greenhouse?
um he lives in like the root cellar, but there's also like if you go down there, there's like a it's like a whole other world. It's like a portal to like a mystical place with like rainbows and unicorns. It's a whole thing. But in the root cellar, there was once an apprentice called Eugene. I'm sure never existed, but maybe he did. And he got stuck down there. And he lives in the walls like a rodent. He never wanted to come out or go home. He just wanted to be in the root cellar.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we don't get stuck in the root cellar. That's our reminder.
Oh, I see. There's like a reason behind it.
Yeah. I think it's because it's like the two doors and you don't know if they lock. And it gets like really dark, like when both of the doors are shut. So it's like, but then you hear something in the walls and it's like, that's Eugene. Oh wait, the scary one. Okay, at some point we had a pig in labor at the time I was here, and like it was my favorite pig. So I sat with Heather, who was the like animal person at the time, and we were just like there, and I got to like brush her and pet her. She was having her contractions, and each time a little piglet came out, like you get to like hold it and wipe it in a little rag and make sure it was safe under the heating lamp and It was so sweet, and like they're so little and so cute. But at one point, she kept having these gigantic contractions, and so I'd always check each time, and I checked after one of the contractions and nothing. But then, like a second later, it was like, oh my god, there's a piglet, and I was like, oh my god, there's a piglet, and I was just so shocked that there'd been another one. We thought she was done, but anyway, it just scared me so much because like things can like, it matters so much, like new life and making sure everything's like, perfect for them. But I remember being like, oh my gosh, like it was probably like the 6th piglet or something by then. Like, I was used to it, but like every time I was like so shocked. It's so magical. Yeah. They're so cute as babies. Like all you want to do is pick them up and kiss them, and then you're like, probably shouldn't do that. Baby immune systems, even though they're like pigs, but. I feel like having a community farm like this, it's not just a farm. I mean, it is the best farm. It's quite the farm, but it's also more than a farm. I feel like it's very much like a hub for the community. Like everyone I know, and like maybe as far as like 3 towns over from Natick, it's like, oh, I know that place. Like my kids went there for camp, or like, my friend worked there, or oh my gosh, I know Casey, and like all the time, like my professor is like the neighbor of the board members, and like knows Casey somehow. Like everybody knows everybody because everybody comes to this place, and I feel like it's so special to have that because, like, I feel in like our current kind of world, we're all like there's so much to do, like there's so much work to do, there's so much, everyone's rushing around everywhere, everyone's on their phone, like there's not a ton of like I'm present right now community, or even like meeting new people community. And the farm is somewhere that kind of has remained that way through its whole lifespan, and it's very special that it can like reach out to people who are like as young as like 2, and also to seniors at the senior center, or to people who are just visiting. Like I know all of my family members, I bring them here because it's wonderful, and they tell everyone about it, and like now my whole extended family is like, we need to bring the kids here, like, and they'll come from multiple states over just to like come see, and like it's really special to have that, and I feel like people don't realize how important it is to have that sort of community. And I so wish that people could like, the whole world and every town could see this farm and think, oh my gosh, like our town needs one, and like we need these everywhere. So on one hand, my hope is that like our staff and our board is gonna like keep being creative and keep like we're always having new projects, thinking of new ways to like little by little, detail by detail, make things better. Like we just had like the reverse osmosis thing, which is so cool, and like we have the new barn, and like I can just see this place like growing and like thriving and flourishing, and like I know it has the brightest future, and I want to see that like keep happening. I want to see more people come here. I want to see us have like more events like the harvest dinner, which like it brings people together who may not be able to come to the farm like to work here or for like other reasons. And like I really want to see it become an even greater part of the community. I mean, it's already like huge to have it, but like yeah, I just really want to see it like keep going the direction it's going, and yeah, that's my hope. Hi guys, this is Lucy. She's been waiting very patiently for me to take her to see the ducks. That's why she's been sitting here. Lucy, do you want to do it? Oh, or that uppy. She's excited about the ducks. But she's also excited about you all. If you are presently here, she'll be like, oh, a person. Right now she's fixated on the ducks.